The verdict against environmental group Greenpeace could bankrupt the organization for good after they were ordered to pay $667 million for defamation to pipeline company Energy Transfer after delayed construction on the Dakota Access Pipeline. Joining us now to discuss this and more headlines on the Hill is Washington insider Armstrong Williams. Happy Monday. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
This could mean an end to Greenpeace's operations here in the U.S. A senior legal advisor for Greenpeace said this was an attack on free speech, which critics say the First Amendment doesn't give the right to defame or destroy. What message does this verdict send, Armstrong, for those groups involved in protests that result in vandalism and can cost millions of dollars?
You know, Jan, whether it's Greenpeace, whether it's Act Blue, what do you call, Jan, organizations that collects money from the public? And when they collect that money, they distribute it to organizations that funds things like riots, vandalism, disruption. And this money is collected from taxpayers. This is what's going on in our country right now. These companies are the main purveyors of paying people to be actors, to be outraged, to be on camera, to make it seem as though they're acting out of some principle. And it's finally catching up because the Trump administration is following the money. The Justice Department is following the money, no different than those who are burning Tesla's cars, and 3 have been arrested. They're paid to do these things. They're not acting out of some conviction. They're being paid. It's about money, and they're trying to destroy our way of life. And anybody don't bend the knee to their way of thinking.
Speaking of money, Armstrong, Columbia University caving to the administration's demands and implementing some new policies to crack down on anti-Semitism after the federal government removed hundreds of millions in federal funding. So clearly, these universities are showing withholding federal funds is enough to fall in line with the administration, with federal policy.
No, Jan, this is all about the funding of their graduate programs and their master programs and protesting and how to organize and how to be disruptive. And when these kids get these master's degree, they have little opportunity to make any kind of money to get a real job. And what Columbia has done, what everybody else is going to do, they cannot survive without the government kindness. $400 million? Interim President Mr. Armstrong made a business decision. The bottom line is they cannot allow anti-Semitism. They cannot allow these disruptions. Then they can no longer allow these professors to corrupt these kids on campus for their polluted, anti-American, anti-Israel agenda.
And Fani Willis, Armstrong, found to be in violation of the state's Open Records Act as outlined in a judge's order on Friday, requesting her to present these documents and also pay more than $54,000 in legal fees. What did you make of this?
It shows you that Fani Willis did not have clean hands and that she violated the law that she was elected to uphold. And finally, the chickens are coming home to roost. Shame, shame, shame. She has to pay $54,000, which she has no choice. The verdict is in. And just like these others who pursued these charges against Donald Trump to destroy him, to make sure that he could never rise again, making sure they thought that he could never become president again. And look, Donald Trump is president, and what is happening to people like Fani Willis? They're paying through the nose. And Jan, this is only the beginning.
A lot more to come on this. All right, Washington insider Armstrong Williams. Always great to see you, sir. Hope you have a great week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jan.